G'day everybody and welcome to Andrew's Art and Models. Today I have the Bandai 1/72 scale TIE Fighter for you. I am going to mod this kit a little bit. I'm going to stick that tiny little SMD that you see there on the screen now into the cockpit to light it up, and I'm going to run some fiber optics to the ion engines to see if we can get them to light up. So this is a little bit of experiment. This kit will be offered as a giveaway model to our premium subscribers. So if you're unsure how to become a premium subscriber, view our giveaway video for February 2020. That's got our standard giveaway in there as well as our premium subscriber details. So look that up. And I'd like to say a massive thank you to our very first premium subscribers, Lord Lorenzo, John Morgan, and Richard Pezall. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. Good luck. We're going to have more kits coming for you very, very soon. So as you can see here, I'm cutting out the seat underneath the pilot, where the pilot will go. And I'm going to sort of backlight it a little bit by putting the SMD in under the seat there. So we just make sure we've got enough room for the light to come through. And I don't want, because the SMD itself is so bright, I don't want it to be viewable directly through the windows of the kit, so to speak. So I want it sort of backlit, and that's a nice, easy spot to put it. There's a few little pieces that I've got to drill little holes into to get the SMD and the fiber optics through. That's not too hard. It's just, you just got to make sure that you're lining it up all properly and that it's going to work at the end of the day. Don't want holes all through the kit if we can avoid it. But I just use my little modal tool and away we go. Now, because we are lighting this model, it's very important to light block the inside of the kit. So I just use the Tamiya black for this, and I pretty much coat all the parts that are going to be assembled for the main cockpit in the Tamiya black before I give them the color coats, just to make sure that we don't get any light leaks. Now you can see here I'm taking the opportunity, now I've got the grey out, to do the canopy frame, so the viewport frame, and also spray a little bit on top of the hatch for the top of the canopy. I'll actually cover that up with a bit of a Vallejo mask and then spray that the proper body colour and just protect that so we don't have to use the decals later. So I've gone ahead and coated all of the cockpit parts with a Tamiya Gloss Clear just to protect it for the decal stage. Once the decals are down, I coat it again with the Gloss Clear, then I run the Tamiya panel liner over it just to give it some depth and some detail. Now, in case you're wondering why I used 0.25, I had 0.75 and 0.25 fibre readily available, but the fit on these kits is so accurate, I wasn't really confident that I could get the 0.75 millimeter through. So I decided for this first attempt, I'm going to do the 0.25 and we'll just see how it comes out. If I'm not happy with it on the next one, I might try a 0.75. But you'll see I need to fill a little bit after I assemble it, and that's just because I didn't make any channels for the fibre optics. And the tolerances are so tight on this little kit that even that little 0.25 of a millimeter was enough to create some gaps for me. Here I'm using the EPO putty just to hold the SMD wiring in place. Not too worried about it moving afterwards. Once that putty's dry, it's solid as a rock, so it's not going anywhere. And you can see the custom base that I have now. I just ordered this little box from China, and I've taken the front latch off it, and we're going to convert this to hold our power supply and use it as a stand for the model as well. As I said earlier, I get those little bit of gaps when I run the fibre optics through, but I also want to try and minimise the light leaks. So I glue all of this together just to make sure that everything stays nice and tight, and I don't get any movement in it. There's no cracks that open up after I've sealed it all together. The easiest way to fill these little gaps is with the putty that you saw there. They're only tiny, and you probably wouldn't even notice them, but I can see them, so I want to get rid of them. I don't like them there, so we're just going to fix those up there, and that's just on the side where the fibres come through, and it's just created that little bit of space. Now, one of the advantages of actually using the non-clear parts, the frameless parts, or just the frame parts rather, similar to the studio model version of these kits, is you can use the clear parts as your mask. So if you want to just swap them out for the time being, put them in place, and you can just paint over them and pop them out when you're done. You don't have to spend all that time masking everything up. It's fantastic, nice and easy. You can really see the difference in the color or the paint colors that I've mixed up there. This is a very, very thin, I suppose you call it a post shading coat. I'm just doing this to model up the surface a little bit, so it's not all a one uniform color. Just give it a little bit more visual detail, visual interest. Now, because I might be shipping this model overseas, I am making sure that all the parts, even though they're snapped together, that they're all glued down so nothing comes loose in transit. One surprising thing about this kit really is the number of decals that are on the outside of the model there, and they're all so small. So you don't notice most of them once it's done unless you're really, really looking for them. But yeah, it's kind of surprising when you see how many there are. So if you ever decide to do any wiring in your models, once you've soldered the wires together, definitely get some of this heat shrink. You can see me here just shrinking it onto the wires I've got there. That really just tightens up the joins, make sure they don't come loose. It's invaluable, well worth it. Here I'm using the Tamiya panel liner, and I've really thinned it down. I don't want to make the surface too dark. I just want this to get some of the details to pop. So I do a few little pin washes like you see here, and just tidy up everything as I go, just to make sure it's nice and neat. Now that we've done all of that, the last step that we need to do is just finish off these fibre optics. So I used little nail scissors there. I know they're not exactly the best modelling tool, But they've got a really narrow tip on them, so I can get into the little exhaust area and trim those back as far as I possibly can, and end up with a nice effect. I then use Vallejo still water, believe it or not, just to seal those in place, make sure they don't move, and then put a clear red Tamiya paint over that to give them the color that we're after. And with that, we can pretty much call it done. So don't forget, we have our regular model giveaways for all subscribers with a new model every month. And we've also got our premium subscriber giveaway where you can win a kit such as this, so a built model or the corresponding model kit if you prefer. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I had an absolute blast building this little thing. It was so much fun. And I felt like a bit of a kid again. So I used to love watching these things on the movies when I was a kid. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please let us know. And yeah, we'll see you for the next one.